whatever is there in the real world, can we call it as an object? It may be a chair, it may be a human, it may be a baby, it may be a AC, or it may be a camera, it may be a projector, or you. We all can be called as an object. Is there anything in the real world which we cannot call it as an object? Anything? What about air? You might think that air is not an object, but air is also an object. You can identify. There are things which are there in the real world which we cannot call it as an object. Not getting? Okay, let me explain. What about human emotions or speed? Are they objects? Can we call them as objects? No, isn't it? Now, in the real world, if we cannot call something as an object, then they will be either property or behavior of an object. Say for example, feelings are the behaviors of humans, and whereas speed is a property of a car or a bike, isn't it? So if we cannot call something as an object, then either there will be behavior or properties of an object. This is the real world situation. Now the Java developers, what they have done? They wanted to create the real world replica in a programming language. So whatever is there in the real world, they wanted to represent in a programming language. They came up with object oriented programming language, that is Java. So how we can represent a real world object in Java? So let's take an example. Okay, let's take a car. Say car. Let's identify some of the important properties and behaviors. What are the properties car can have? Height, weight, color. In Java, how we can represent them? Height can be represented using double. Weight can be represented using double. Color can be represented using string. Speed can be represented using again double. What behaviors car will have? We can identify some behaviors like car will start and it moves, stops. They all are behaviors, isn't it? So now we studied that in Java we can use the data types which is studied in Java basics to identify the properties, to represent the properties, and to represent the behavior. Now let's take I have a behavior called start. Let's say I have a behavior called start. What are things happens to start a car? What do we do exactly to start a car? We open door, we sit inside, we turn the key. These all are actions, right? They all are behaviors. So these operations belongs to a behavior called car. Say for example, so let's make it simple. Let's say to start the car, I will have one system.println. There's a spark plug ignites. Then another SOP statement, engine started. Then another SOP statement, you can say car started. Assume like that. These operations belongs to a behavior called start. Yes or no? These operations belongs to a behavior called start. Now I want to group them together. So what I'll do, I'll add one floor brace around that. 1 year and 1 year. Now these operations belongs to start, but whenever I want to start a car, I want to call it. When it comes to calling, we know that one, we use methods to call. We separate some piece of operations to another method and we are able to call whenever we want it. So we'll convert this start to method. So methods are used for representing behaviors in Java. Same way for move and stop, we can just add one SOP statement and convert them to behavior. But now the important question here is, I have these 4 properties and I have these 3 behavior. They belongs to whom? They belongs to car, right? Yes or no? So what I'll do, I'll group them inside a floor base and I'll put the name as car. So now I have what do I have here? Do I have a car? Do I have a car? Suppose if your answer is yes, tell me, what is the height of the car? What is the color of the car? If car exists, then we should be knowing height and color, isn't it? We actually don't have car. Then what do we have here then? Actually don't have car. Then what do we have here then? What we have here is description of the car. In other words, we can say we have description of an object. Description of an object. So, what is the description? We can also call it as we have a blueprint of a car. Yes or no? Or we can call it template of a car or a prototype of a car. So, can I call blueprint of car, then open floor brace and like this? Can I say blueprint of car? Yes, it is possible. No objections about it. But Java developers, what they done? They decided, instead of calling it as blueprint, they use the term called class. What Java developers has done, instead of calling it as blueprint of or template of or prototype of or description of, they used a particular keyword that is called as class. So we can write it as class car. So what is a class then? A class is a blueprint of an object. A class is an blueprint of an object. Is it clear? That is the right definition. Understand this. Let me give you a proper definition again. If in the interview, if they ask you, what is a class? Then what should be your answer? A class is a blueprint of an object which describes properties and behaviors of an object. Can you use one class to describe more than one object? Yes, it is possible. You can have, let's say, class, employee, student, and we have employee data members and student data members. But it's like having breakfast, lunch, dinner together in one plate in one time itself. That's absurd, right? So, in one class, we describe one object. Is it clear? Please note down the notes below. And again, I will resume this. After writing down the notes below, then go to the next video.